Hey, Wannabe Gamer here with another Top War video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the daily activities you can take part in, and that is the Sandtable exercise, as well as how to increase your damage for more rewards and better rankings. Now, you can participate in this event up to 5 times per day at no cost or risk to you. When your units are defeated here, they're not sent to your repair room, so you don't have to worry about losing anything. It also has very good rewards. The rewards are based on the amount of damage you do. The more damage, the more chests you get, and these chests will give you one of 5 rewards. It'll either give you a handful of general R&D plans, tech chests, green experience books, 5-minute training speed-ups, or level 40 gold cards. So definitely something that's worth adding to your daily rotation. Now, before we talk about how to deal damage to this guy, it's important to understand how he fights. He fights an awful lot like an army unit in the way that he'll only hit one unit at a time, but he hits very hard. Now, generally when he attacks, he's going to take out an entire stack of units in one hit. I have only seen one time so far where a stack of my units was able to survive his hit, and even still, it was the last unit in the stack. So, when you're looking at how you want to fight this guy, you're looking at how to deal as much damage as soon as possible. Now, the fight is over when, of course, all your units have been defeated or the max round has been met. So let's go ahead and talk about how to deal as much damage as quickly as possible. The first thing we're going to go ahead and look at is your heroes. Now, heroes have a couple different stats. The one we're going to look at today is your war stat. Your war stat affects how much attack increase they give to all the units under their command. So there isn't one hero specifically that's best for this event. It really comes down to what you have. I am assuming that you don't have every hero at level 120, so it really comes down to what hero do you have that's best. Now, some heroes do lean on their war stat a bit more than others. For example, Nimitz here, he has 40,000 in war and 10,000 in his defense, where someone like Twin is 30,000 and 20,000. They're still both good, but one leaves much heavier to increase the unit's attack over their HP. So a couple heroes in each category, Army, Navy, and Air Force, that lean very heavy on their war stat. So for the Army, Amelia is very good, as well as Friedman. For the Navy, it would be, of course, Nimitz. Bellevue is also very good. And then lastly, the Air Force, which I wouldn't recommend using Air Force, but if you want to, there's Sauvage, Mr. Fancy French name. And there is also Arthur Harris. They lean on their war stats pretty well. So again, it really comes down to what heroes you have that are best, but these are some heroes that are pretty good to bring in there. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about your components. Now, you don't want to use PvP components because some PvP component builds generally will have survivability built into them. So what we're going to focus on is dealing as much damage as quickly as possible. So if you look at my Navy components here, you'll see I have crit buff and crit damage. Also, damage increase and weapon buff. These all increase your damage and are an absolute must-have. Now, the fifth one, there's a little bit of debate. The fifth one, which I would recommend, is hit. Most people run with hit, so of course, if you're not missing your hits, you're doing a lot more damage. But some people have been known to run dexterity, so they increase their dodge chance. So that's a little bit of a survivability one. You know, if the Sandtable exercise boss misses one of his hits, you get to go another round. So some people will run that, but I recommend running hit because you want to hit as much as you can and deal as much damage. The dexterity is just too much of a dice roll. You're probably not going to get any benefit from it. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about your hero skills. Now, I'm not talking about their default skills that are with them. We're going to go ahead and talk about the skills that can be equipped down below. Now, the ones you're going to want to do, March Increase is an absolute must. Even though the Sandtable exercise, he'll take out your entire stack in one hit, having a bigger march size and a bigger stack still causes them to deal more damage. So march size is a must, and then the other two, if you have them unlocked, would be in damage increase and attack increase. So the three that you definitely want is march, attack increase, and damage increase. There's not really much debate on these ones. It's just whether or not you've leveled up your hero enough to be able to equip all three. And of course, you know, their default skill, it's always good to have the best effect on there, but that one is, you know, that one's pretty obvious. So as far as what I do to increase my damage against this boss, so there is one hero that is worth mentioning that I use against here that doesn't follow that war, lean heavy on the war stat, is Marilda. She has an ability that actually causes the enemy to have a chance to either not attack, miss their attack, or attack themselves. And since the Sandtable exercise boss hits so hard, if he attacks himself, it's a pretty good buff. Now, the only problem with having Marilda is since it is a chance skill, your results can vary. So, for example, the highest damage I've dealt using this hero is 61 billion, But I've also done as low as in the teens. So for example, that bottom one there, 19.3 billion. So she's great if you want to get high on the leaderboards, because occasionally you'll get those lucky rolls where you just get ungodly amounts of damage because for some reason the boss attacked himself every single time. So usually I'm rolling Nimitz and Marilda together. It's my go-to. And I run all the components and the skills that I had mentioned earlier in the video. So lastly, I want to talk about a few random things that you can do to increase your damage. One would, of course, be your decor. Various bits of decor give different damage increase, crit chance increase, crit damage increase. So definitely pay attention to your decor. Also, your base skin matters. So for example, I'm usually running the Super Miner, but whenever I attack this boss, personally I equip Neotopia. It's not the best skin, it's just the best one I have. So for example, like Shadow Dragon gives all units a 35% increase attack boost, where Neotopia it's only 30% and only when attacking. Like I said, it's the best one I have, but, pay attention to your skins to see if you can get any boosts. All you have to do is have it equipped for just, a minute or so while you're doing the event, and then you can go back to whatever skin you like to have equipped the rest of the time. Also, your Alliance banners are good. Having the Alliance level 5 banner equipped is always a good idea. This gives a really strong boost. And then also your Alliance skills. You want to be in a good alliance. At the moment, I'm currently trying to disband some inactive alliances that are on our server, but you want to be in an alliance that has some good abilities to give you some better buffs. And then also Amelia. If you have Amelia, she has an awesome ability where she's able to find Fanatic Paint, which increases the attack of all units by 20% for 30 minutes. So that's a nice thing to use for even a little bit more damage buff. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention today are a couple of theories that I want to go over. Now, I can't find an official source confirming this at all, but as you can see, when you're looking at this boss, he's fighting on a land-based background and he attacks like an army, which leads me to believe that he's an army unit. So if you attack with Navy, you are getting that boost of suppression against him, which could be handy. But on the same note, he's only one target. So if you attack him with Army only hits one target. They just hit harder than compared to Air Force or Navy. It's nice that the Air Force or Navy hit 3 targets, but comparatively to the Army, they hit softer each one of those targets. So since you only have one target to hit, sometimes the Army is a good way to go. But like I said, this is just a theory. I can't confirm that he's actually calculated as an Army unit, so I don't know if Navy does better. I just, like the Navy heroes I have. And then, well, I guess that's all I have. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what other videos you'd like to hear. If you have any questions about this one, please leave some comments below. I love to answer them. And have a fantastic day.